Okay, I see. Hi, everyone. Tamanna, Mansi, Sachin. Hope all of you are doing good. Keshav, Vikas. So I think you have started putting your queries in our Q&A section. And just let me check with my panelist. And probably we'll start off with this webinar. Okay, great. I think sir is here. Hi, sir. Good evening. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Good evening, ma'am.
All right, so let's just start off quickly with this webinar. So good evening and welcome to all of you, and welcome to another very informative and amazing session on Shiksha. So topic for today, we all know, is all about Neet 2022, what to expect this year, and we'll be discussing a lot about this. But before that, let me introduce you to our eminent panelist. Mr. Naveen Joshi is here from Physics Wala. He's the Chief Content Officer. Thank you and welcome again, sir, for joining us on this webinar.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Right. And so we'll start off the session with, let's just see, sir, Neet 2022 is again, I mean, the exam Neet is very important in terms of medical students. And some of them really find this difficult. Some of them really try to cope up. We did a webinar before also for Neet, and there were 2 MBBS students who did share their entire experience. So if we start with what kind of difficulty level Neet holds for students?
First of all, this is a very most common question. Every year, student keep on asking the difficulty level of Neet. But they can find the answer of this question from the PYQ, previous year questions. If you see the last previous 5-year questions, and not from 5 years, if you see the last 20-year questions, almost every entrance exam in Neet UG, the level of questions are from NCERT. We have done a very detailed analysis of last year paper, and we have also conducted a session on YouTube also, elaborating that from all the questions asked in physics, chemistry, and biology, each and every questions is directly from NCERT, and almost 98 questions are directly from NCERT. That doesn't mean the exam is very simple. It doesn't mean you required only NCERT practice kind of thing. But the thing is very clear that the questions are based on NCERT. The level of questions are relatively easy to moderate. They never ask difficult question. They never ask the numerical, which required a lot of thinking ability. So they are actually theoretical based, a simple numerical based. If you have a clear concept, if you have done a very good revision, you can able to score a very good marks. But yes, the competition as compared to JEE is very high, and you need to be very accurate. The error minimization play a very important role in the Neet exam. If you do 1 or 2 error, it actually impact a lot in your rank. So as far as the question is concerned, how the quality of question or the difficulty level of question, I'm 100% sure that this time also you will find questions directly from NCERT. There is no major change is mentioned in the NTA website also. So we are expecting the same type of question which is asked in the previous year.
Right. So there was also some drift regarding the dates, and there were a lot of clashes happening, and I could see it was all in news that students wanted to shift it, and now since it has been shifted, so how do you take? What's your take on all these? The date confusion that happens, and students smuggling between boards and preparing for Neet.
Yeah. From last 2 years when we enter in the COVID era, you have seen there is an speculation kind of thing every academic year with the not only in the terms of Neet exam but also in terms of other exams. But yes, with as compared to the class 12 board, there is no same dates kind of thing. You have different set of exam for class 12 board, and you will get sufficient amount of time for the complete revision. So there is no confusion in the date part, and one must have to prepare and fix the date and prepare accordingly.
Right, and I see people, students putting up here, and will Neet shift or not? This question comes from Keshav Ojha. Sir, you like to answer him?
I don't think the exam is going to be postponed. or shift, it will be as mentioned by the date of NTA. So there is no sign of COVID that increasing or decreasing kind of thing. So I guess the exam will be in time. So prepare according to the given time.
Right. I think that valuable piece of advice goes out to all the students that if there's no changes in dates, you need to prepare well in enough. Right. So, since you've always said that you had to balance out everything, like all the exams that you're sitting. So, if I say what kind of routine they need to follow, since if they are board student and they have to sit for the boards and they also have to sit for NEET, what kind of balance should they maintain between the two exams? Because both the exams are very important for the students.
100%. Right now, one must have to focus on their class 12 board. Prepare for your class 12 board for class 12 NCRT. Once you prepare the entire NCRT from class 12 board, it will helpful for your NEET exam also. The only factor in NEET exam is you have to do a better revision in the class 11 part, because just now you have prepared for class 12 board. So you have wind up your NCRT class 12. Now you have to revise for class 11. While preparing for the class 12 board, make sure that you are going to note down the NCRT line by line. You are going to give the mock test. You have solved the exemplar questions as well as the any study material. If you follow, you just follow that study material. Don't go for multiple books, fixed one book. Try to complete the MCQ of that particular book. Try to complete from NCRT line by line. Write down your notes. Prepare the bullet point. These are the important point which may ask in the NEET. Write down the names and the things which you generally forget, like formula, important point, blister point. Make sure you have prepared a complete notes for all those things while preparing for the class 12 board. This way you will prepare simultaneously board as well as NEET.
Right. I totally agree to that, sir. So, if I talk about, they do have queries like if they're preparing from NCRT, the entire syllabus. So, is that sufficient enough to sit for NEET?
100% sufficient. If you go through NCRT, that is more than sufficient. If you prepare NCRT very well, you have gone through the exercise, you have read each and every lines, I am sure that it is sufficient for the NEET. You don't need any other textbook for NEET for additional preparation. If you have completed your NCRT, it is more than enough. As I have already mentioned that almost 98% questions are directly from NCRT. I'm 100% sure that this time also they are going to ask from NCRT itself.
Right. And so talking about the entire syllabus from NCRT, what kind of weightage each subject holds for NEET as well? I mean, is there any subject which holds more of importance and which you have seen like repeatedly every year, the same set of questions are there, every year for NEET. So what are those?
No, that is a unique part of NEET. Students generally keep on asking that what are the important chapters for NEET. So I am talking about, let's say, because I am a chemistry teacher, I am explaining in terms of chemistry. So if there are 45 questions of chemistry and there are 30 chapters in the NEET syllabus, each and every chapter you will find one question. So it is really difficult to say that these chapters are important. You have to go through all the chapters. The main catch is that you have to revise the entire syllabus. You just go through all the chapters, make sure you have prepared entire and detailed notes of all the topics, and that is sufficient. You don't go for the detail in each and every chapters. Don't go for the large and bigger subjective questions, and make sure physics part must be very important for NEET aspirant, because if you are a NEET aspirant, you love biology. So almost everyone is very good in bio. They remember the names, they score very good marks in bio also. But in chemistry, the second priority is chemistry and the last priority is physics, because in the physics, there is a lot of maths is also involved. And students generally lose their marks in physics. So that will be the, you can say, rank determining step. So physics is very important. Give more time in the physics. And you are NEET aspirant, so you are comfortable in biology. So make sure the notes of biology is well prepared. And the second part is the chemistry, their physical chemistry, specifically the numerical aspect. The student get afraid of that. So do a lot of practice in the numerical segment of physical chemistry, write down all the formula, and for physics, give some extra time for that particular subject.
Right. I think that very well explains what all preparation they really need to do. So coming to another very important question, this year we saw that the upper age limit was removed from Neet. So what would be, I would say, its impact on medical admissions? I mean, how will that impact it?
Pardon?
How will that impact it if they have removed the upper age limit this year? So how does that impact the medical admission process?
I don't think the admission process is impacted, but yes, now there is a competition between class 12th studying student with the student who are preparing for NEET from the past 2 to 3 years. So you have a desegregated kind of student in this competitive exam, but I don't think it will create a lot of impact in the final outcome of the result. I have seen, if you do the analysis of under 100 rank student, maximum student are 12 studying, right? So there is a good advantage for the repeater student who are unable to make the NEET score very well in the first attempt. They are getting a few more lives, you can say, so that to prepare and get through the good rank. So that is the one kind of advantage for those students who are repeating the NEET exam. But there is not much effect in the class 12 studying students.
Right. And sir, talking about attempts, how many attempts can they take?
And now there is no restriction in the attempt. So see, if you are talking about the number of attempts, number of questions, what is the pattern? So pattern remain constant. The only thing they have changed is the number of attempts. But if you are preparing for NEET, the attempt part in this time specifically, you shouldn't have to worry about, because you just go for the exam that these are the 4 months left. I have to crack this NEET exam in the first attempt itself. After the exam, when you are doing the analysis of the result, then these questions will be valid.
Right. And just coming about to other part of it, like, sorry. So there's another thing that there are certain students who are droppers, or those who have done their graduation and they are pursuing a career planning to take up NEET. How can they prepare for this exam?
Yes, actually, when you increase the number of attempts, it also increases the stress level. For example, if you are going to appear for the first time the NEET exam, then the few questions are coming in your mind, that what type of question they are going to ask, what happened if I am unable to clear the exam. The second type of question, it may possible that this year they are going to ask difficult questions. The most common perception of almost all students, that when they are going to appear the exam, the question will be difficult. And if you are talking about the student who are repeaters, they are going for the exam with a lot of pressure also, because they know that this is the fourth attempt, they know that this is the third attempt, and this is very important for us. So because of this pressure, sometimes they do a lot of error. So the first and foremost thing, just remove these things from your mind, that you are going to appear this exam for second, third, fourth attempt, whatever it should be. Just go with a fresh mind, don't take it to pressure. Go with the fresh mind, write down the exam paper answers, solve the questions, try to solve maximum questions as you can, because you have already gone through each and everything in the last 4 months. If your revision part is very good, I am 100% sure that you are going to score very good marks, because the examination pattern, there is no change in the examination pattern. The question label will be asked as the same as they have asked in the year 2021, 2020. So same type of pattern you have already practiced, is you know everything. You just go fearlessly and attempt exams.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. And I think that would really help a lot of students. So we have also seen another change that has happened is the exam pattern has changed. And I think it would be continued in a similar way. So how can student manage this new exam structure along with the timings?
Yes, this is a very good and valid question. Time management is very important for the NEET exam, and there are two different time management. Is one is the time management which you do at your home, because you have a certain time left, and these are the chapters which you have to do. And the second is the time management during the exam. So let's talk about the first part, how to manage the time when you are at home. Generally, how the student revise actually the topic or the chapter. They see the number of hours I am spending per day. But there are a lot of hours which are unproductive if you are not planned well, right? So the first and foremost thing one student must have to do is that to calculate the exact available time from day one to the day end. Let's say you are going to face the exam in the month of May and June. So you have certain time of period left, that is 4 months, 5 months, 3 months. You just calculate the number of days, calculate total number of chapter in physics, chemistry, and biology. There is 82 chapters in physics, chemistry, and biology that you have to wind up in this particular time period. Make a proper timetable, give the mock test, adequate mock test. Mock test will help you to improve the time management during the exam. So when you are going to write the mock test, you just take the exact number of questions which Neet asked, give that particular exam in 3 hours, and see how many questions you have attempted. I have seen a lot of very bright students who are failed to crack the Neet only because of the poor time management. They know the answers, but because they spend lot of time to the physics part because of their fairness, so they left the questions of bio, they left the question of chemistry, which actually they know. So try to make a proper strategy of the entire paper that I am going to read. So let's say if you start a question and you realize that I am going to crack this question, but it required 3 to 4 minutes of time. So it is better to mark that for last 10 to 15 minutes and go for the next question. So first phase, try to wind up in 1.5, that is 90 minutes, what we say. In 90 minutes, the entire Neet paper, all the easy question you attempt in the first half, that 90 minutes. Then again start from question number 1 and go for each and every question. The rest 40 minutes give to the question which required calculation, which required bit of thinking ability. And the rest part, attempt all those questions which you feel that you are unable to do that. This strategy will help you to wind up all the easy questions which are asked in the Neet exam. So this is the total philosophy which one must have to apply during the exam.
Agree to that, sir, and thank you for that entire description. Sir, coming, the same thing when we're talking about time management. Once they are sitting for the exam and they are ready to start the paper, so what exactly time strategy they have to, take that time so that they are able to complete the entire section and the entire paper on time? What should be the time distribution that time?
Time distribution depends. Basically depend upon different type of student, what kind of student you are. And what I feel, one must have to prepare a proper timetable. Generally a student make the timetable, but they are unable to follow that. And any timetable which is prepared by the student is one of the best timetable for him, right? If I am preparing a timetable for myself, I know my weakness, I know my strength, I will prepare the best timetable for me. The only problem is that I am unable to follow that. So every student make the timetable. Very few can able to follow that particular timetable. So take one challenge that I'm going to prepare 3 days timetable for my last revision, and that include the class 12 board preparation, right? And allocate at least 1 or 2 hours for Neet preparation out of your total study hours. I'm talking about if you have total study hours is X number, give 10% of that time to Neet preparation and rest 90% to your class 12 board. And if you are repeater student, give allocate all the 100% time to your Neet preparation. Make the timetable for 3 days, start from today itself, and try to just follow for these 3 days. During when you are going to follow the timetable, what kind of pressure you feel? Let's say you have written that from 6 to 7, I am going to read the physics. From 7:30 to 7:45, I am going to do the numerical. Then when you reach to 10 a.m. or 12 a.m., you realize that I am unable to follow the first 2 hour timetable. So let's bring another timetable. Don't do this. Let's say if you are unable to follow the timetable of your own till 12 p.m., try to follow after one timetable, right? So make a timetable for 3 days, try to follow strictly that particular timetable and write down the outcome. Let's say day 1, I have prepared this timetable. At the end of the day, just write down that I have achieved 80% goal of my timetable. I have achieved 90% goal of my time. I have achieved 100% goal of my timetable. And let's say if you have achieved 80%, find out the 20% where you have left, why you have left, try to find the answers. And once you get the answer, try to implement that strategy on day 2. So implementation of the strategy, following of the timetable is very crucial and important also. If you are able to follow your timetable, that means you are in the right track. But don't change the timetable in between. Try to make the timetable for 3 to 4 days and try to achieve that. If once you achieve 3 to 4 days timetable, try to bring the timetable to 7 to 8 days, then like this monthly timetable. So it will be the best strategy right now.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. And since we were discussing about NCRT syllabus, and as you said, keep preparing for NCRTs, it's like almost you're ready for, sitting for the NEET. But then, sir, there's another problem that the state board students face. I mean, they have a different kind of syllabus when they are preparing, like for some other state, whether it's West Bengal or Uttar Pradesh or some other state. So for them, what kind of preparation is required, because they will not have NCRT studied before. So how should they prepare for NEET, along with juggling with their boards exams also?
See, if you're talking about some boards like UP board, Maharashtra board, or any other board, yeah, they are facing bit problem because few boards are different as compared to the NCRT curriculum and the syllabus. But if you see the difference, that is between 10 to 15%. We have analyzed almost all boards with the NEET syllabus. There is only 10 to 15% syllabus differences. That's it. So there is not a major issue or major problem you will face. First of all, try to focus on your board exam, trying to wind up the board exam. And once you have done the board exam very good way, then what you will realize that you have wind up your class 12 syllabus, then start preparing for class 11 syllabus with the proper timetable, and that easily can be taken care after the board exam also.
So I think those who are from different state boards, if you had the similar question, I'm sure a lot of you might be from different boards and you might have this question that we have not studied NCRT, so what should we do? But I think sir has already answered that, and that really helps solve a bit of your problem. So the rest, yes, the preparation is definitely required. Right. Sir, if we talk about this year's NEET, is there anything which is new apart from like the changed syllabus? Is there anything new that they will come upon and might be a surprise element for the students?
No, not right now, because I have never seen any surprise element like JE in the NEET. They have very fixed pattern from many years. The only difference is number of questions. They sometime increase or decrease. Sometimes the negative marking may be increased, but that doesn't impact in your preparation model. So this year also the exam pattern will be remain constant. The level of questions, what I am expecting will be similar as compared to the last year. So they are going to ask the question directly from NCRT. They are the basic questions but the only thing you required is a speed. So you have to answer very fast, and maybe the number of questions or the options negative marking may be bit different as compared to the previous year, but that doesn't make any sense to discuss all these things, because if you are preparing for a particular concept and you are clear in the concept thought process, you can easily answer all those questions.
Right. And I see a lot of them want to know a bit about organic chemistry, physics, and they are more inclined in knowing about each of these science subjects. So if we start from physics, what kind of preparation is required, particularly for physics, organic chemistry, and other part of science subjects?
So physics is the most dangerous part for almost all NEET aspirant. So what I feel, try to wind up the physics syllabus from NCRT, try to understand the basic maths which is required to solve the numerical. And if possible, if you are weak in a particular topic, in particular subtopic, try to solve some subjective questions in physics, for example. And as far as the organic chemistry is concerned, reaction mechanism play a very important role. But in general, the kind of question asked in NEET exam is not related with the reaction mechanism, but basic reaction they generally ask. So try to focus on the general organic chemistry and isomerism. Hydrocarbon is a very important topic for NEET. Do revise all the reactions, name reactions and all that in hydrocarbon, and test, organic test play very important role. Every year, 1 or 2 questions in the NEET exam are directly from the organic test. So revise all the test, and it is easier to revise organic from all you write down all the reducing agent of your entire syllabus. There are 23 reducing agents. write down all the oxidizing agent. There are 32 oxidizing agent in your syllabus, for start from the general organic chemistry to biomolecules. So just memorize all the reducing and organic oxidizing agent in one shot, and similarly write down all the name reactions. So you will get almost 41 name reaction in organic chemistry. There are 37 oxidizing agent, there are 22, 23 reducing agent, and there are almost 18 to 20 tests. So like this, you can wind up the organic easily.
Right. So I think that will help them to understand what kind of preparation and topics is needed, particularly for science paper. Okay. Keshav Ojha says, what will be the difficulty level of paper? I think Keshav, sir, in the beginning has already mentioned the difficulty level of paper and how you will actually tackle that. So you want to summarize a bit for this?
Yes, as I have already told that every year student asks that what kind of difficulty level is going to be asked in the NEET exam. As I have told that almost from last many years, the NEET is conducted by NTA and their prescribed book is NCERT. And the pattern, if you see when there is a AI PMT exam for medical entrance exam, the pattern of question will be similar as compared to the NEET. So if you analyze the last 4-year paper, the questions are to the point theoretical. There are very less numerical. If there is a numerical, that numerical is of 1 or 2 step. For example, they used to ask what is the pH of 10 to the power minus 6 molar acetic acid. This is a one-liner or directly formula based. So generally formula based numerical are asked. Theoretical questions are being asked. So the same type of pattern I am expecting this year also.
Right, I think that would answer your question. Okay, so I'm getting more questions about can we just study important chapters alone for NEET, or we have to learn all the chapters? This question comes from Ellen R.N. Alvar Naidu.
Yeah, the answer is strictly no. One must have to revise the entire chapter. Don't go for important chapter. As I have mentioned you that there are, I have never seen any chapter missing from the NEET question paper, right? So you will get a question from surface chemistry. You are going to get a question from ionic equilibrium. You are going to get a question from atomic structure. So there is no important question. Generally, I have seen a lot of session based on important questions, important chapter for NEET. That is basically, if let's say there are 40 questions in each subject, let's say there are 40 questions and the 2 questions are from atomic structure, 1 question is from ionic equilibrium. Can I say that atomic structure is more important? The answer is no. See, you are going to get at least 1 question from almost all chapters. So if you revise all the chapter from NCERT, that is a good strategy rather than to pick the important chapter. Yes, if you are talking about the important, I have seen specifically in chemistry, the weightage of class 12 is relatively bit higher as compared to the class 11. So in last year, there is almost 55% questions are from class 12 and 45% questions are from class 11. So it may possible that class 12 topic are a bit more important than class 11.
Right. And another very common question that a lot of them have given is like, if they haven't prepared well for 11, they haven't fared well in 11, and they're just studying for 12, will that help them for NEET?
If you have wind up your class 12 syllabus very well and you just forget all the class 11 syllabus, so you will get at least 60 days of time just after your class 12 board. So at that particular time, you spend more time in class 11. Just go through the NCERT textbook of class 11, read line by line, make small notes, and I think that is also sufficient to answer the class 11 question which is asked in the NEET exam.
Right. And just adding a part to the same question, sir, Vanu Karthik wants to know the percentage of questions that would come from class 11 syllabus.
See, there is no fixed pattern of NEET, but still, as I have told you that in the last 2 to 3 years, if you analyze the class 12 percentage number of questions are a bit higher as compared to the class 11. In the last year, they have asked 55% question from class 12 and 45% question from class 11. But in year 2020, there is 60% question are from class 12, 40% from class 11. So there is a bit higher percentage of question asked from class 12 syllabus rather than class 11.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. I'll pick up some more questions that we have received from the students. So one of them says that he really finds physical chemistry formula tough and complicated, and he faces problems in in completing the syllabus, and he has to keep on practicing a lot of questions. So is there a trick or a tip maybe they could help them understand the formulas easily?
See, in physical chemistry, there is almost 9 chapters are there, right? So maximum student face problem in more or less 3 chapters. One is thermodynamics and thermochemistry. Second is ionic equilibrium, and third is chemical kinetics for Neet student. And one more chapter, electrochemistry. Few student also face problem because it is a bigger chapter, right? And out of these 4 chapters, the most important is thermodynamics and thermochemistry, which is very important among all other chapters. The reason behind is that you will get at least 1 or 2 questions from thermodynamics and thermochemistry. Apart from that, in physics also, you will get 1 or 2 questions from thermodynamics and thermochemistry. There is one more chapter known as atomic structure. So atomic structure, you will get 1 or 2 questions in chemistry. From same atomic structure, you will get 1 or 2 questions in physics also, in modern physics. So atomic structure, thermodynamics, thermochemistry, these are the 2 chapters which actually covers in physics as well as chemistry, and you are getting the question from both the subjects. So if you have a very strong concept in atomic structure and thermodynamic and thermochemistry, you can able to cater approximately 8 to 9 questions, including physics and chemistry. Now coming up to the topic which you face difficulty in remembering the formula. So write down what are the topics which covers lot of formula. That is atomic structure, first chapter, which consists of formula. Mole concept, there is no formula based question, that is the conceptual. So atomic structure consists of almost 16 or 17 formula. So write down all the formula in one page. Try to find the conditions also. Also write in the bracket what is the condition to use that particular formula in atomic structure, right? Coming up to the gaseous state, it consists of a lot of formula. So you write down the velocity of particles, RMS speed, most probable speed, write down those formula, write down the Van der Waals equation and all the general gas equation formula in one page. In chemical equilibrium, there is very less formula. Kp and Kc, there is one relation and the pressure Lee Chatelier principle. Whereas in ionic equilibrium, it consists of 4 components. One is find the pH, second is salt analysis, third is buffer, and fourth is solubility product. There is no formula in the solubility product. Few tricks are there to solve that particular question. There is 2 formula in the buffer, and there is 4 formula in the salt hydrolysis, and there is 3 to 4 formula in pH. So there is a limited number of formula. So like this, if you analyze and segregate, there is not more than 8 to 10 formula in each chapters. And out of these 8 chapters, almost 6 chapters are numerical based, 2 chapters are theoretical based, right? So there are 50 to 60 formula in physical chemistry. You write down all the formula in a textbook, try to memorize that, try to solve some objective question, try to solve some subjective question. Also find the solution how you can able to use those formula in the numerical. So this will build your interest as well as understanding in that particular chapter.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that answer. I'll take another few questions. So also another question that comes up from the student is, should they opt for government colleges or should they go for private colleges? How do they choose the better option, and what should be like the cutoff marks for both government and private?
See, last year the cutoff is very high. Should you choose private college or government college, it actually depend upon your score also. I guess if you score 630 plus, it will be very good score. Although last year the cutoff is very high, it actually depend upon the type of question they asked. If the question pattern will be easy, the cutoff goes higher segment. If the questions which they ask are relatively difficult, the cutoff will goes downsides. So it actually depend upon the type of question they asked, but still 600 plus is the safe answer.
Right. Okay, and I'll take a few more questions. Okay, so we have already given some options for this. So a lot of them have a question like post, applying, sitting for NEET, and after they have qualified, what are the different branches, apart from MBBS that they can opt for, after qualifying NEET?
So there are a lot of branch and a lot of options after your class 12 if you are unable to qualify for NEET. One is the prepare for NEET for MBBS. Apart from that, if your score is bit lower side, you will get BDS, and you can go for pharma, B Farm. That is also very good. You can go for biotechnology part. You can go for direct graduation part. So there is a lot of segment after class 12. So once you done your class 12, there is a lot of scopes in the bio also, and all the sector are growing very fast, and that is the proof of the number of aspirant in the NEET increases day by day. I remember when I teach the NEET student in the year 2015 or 2014, there is 4 to 5 lakh aspirant in the NEET exam, whereas that increased to multiple fold this year. So there is a very large jump seen in the NEET exam, and it is almost 3 to 4 times the number of aspirant. That is only because there is lot of scope and lot of branches now open for the bio students.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that advice. A lot of them also are answering, since we discussed about the cutoffs. So, is there any expected percentage of cutoff this year that you would have in your mind, or you are expecting this would be for this year?
See, before exam, it is difficult to answer on the cutoff, but as I mentioned, that 600 plus is a very good score. So if the questions are relatively very easy, then the safer side will be 620, 630. But still 600 plus is a very good score, as I think, in the NEET exam.
Right. Okay. I get another question from Samya. She says, with a small number of seats, such as 20 seats for females in FMMC, is 600 plus really a good score?
No. For AFMC, but I think the safest size will be 660. You try for 660, 670, at least above 650 for AFMC specifically.
Right. I think, Samya, that answers your question. Okay. A lot of them have also, during the registration, has given up this question about managing pressure and tension while preparing for the exam and post sitting for the exam. So how should they cope up with the entire pressure and tension that comes for with NEET?
See, I guess the student who is all India rank 1 is also facing problem, is also stressed out. He is also facing the stress level is very high because of the uncertainty. But what I feel, if you have a very structured timetable and you just do follow your timetable, then you don't have get time to analyze the outcome of the results. Generally, the pressure and the stress level will be depends on how much you think that what will happen after the exam, what is the cutoff for the exam, should I get this mark 600 plus or not. Right now I am going to give the mock test and I'm scoring 340, and with 340 how come it goes to 600. So if you keep on thinking about this, it will build actually a stress, it will give you a very bad experience while you are preparing for the NEET exam. So the best part is just forget about all these things, try to stick in your timetable, give the mock test as you can give maximum mock test, try to find out what are the area which are weak. Let's say you are going to appear for a mock test and you are going to score 360 marks. So there are two type of thing which is very important. One is post test and second is after the test. So just after the test, if you analyze that your score is 360, just find out the kind of question you are unable to solve, from where their rest marks or rest question you are unable to solve. Prepare an Excel sheet that this question number 7, I score -1. The reason behind that, I am unable to learn that particular topic. This question number 10, I don't know the answer. So like this, you just write down your weak section, write down the area where you get the negative marking, and from before next mock test, try to work on those weaker area. Try to find out what is the score you have now scored. Let's say if there is 360, you again got 380, or you can get 310. Then again find the missing link. So keep on working on your missing link. Try to push your marks to upper segment. Try to find what kind of error you do, and try to find what are the weak topic which you have. And this way, this journey will actually reduce your stress, and you will prepare for the better marks for your upcoming NEET exam.
Right. Okay. Another question that I see comes from Madhvi. So she says we come under the OBC layer. So are we eligible for BC category seats in state counseling?
I guess yes. You are eligible for the, if you are on the same state, you are eligible for that counseling.
Right. I'll move to another question from Giridhar. So can you please elaborate on AI quota and state quota and what to target?
I guess if you are in Delhi, the state quota will help you a lot because there is a lot of medical colleges and number of students are very less. But it depends upon which state you belong and how many number of medical colleges in your state and what is your rank. Based on that, you take a call because different state have different benefits, different state have different number of colleges and seat, and based on that, you take a call.
Okay, I get another question. So, sir, is there any increased time slot of 20 minutes more than earlier? Because they are continuously putting up this question that what about the new increased time slot 20 minutes more than earlier, and how can we handle it from the old one?
See, yes, I have seen the notification, but I am not sure how they are going to give you the 20-minute extra time. But if you are going to get the 20-minute extra time, don't think about much on that because everyone is going to get these 20 minutes. So it will help you to final wind up. So you don't have to make any strategy for those things. See, you don't think about the number of questions, the kind of attempt, the difficulty level, because that is constant for almost everyone. So just work on your preparation and based on that, you go for the exam.
Right. Thank you, sir. And before we move to last few questions, I am launching a feedback poll on all of your screen, and I would request all the students, please do fill up the feedback poll as this is important for us to know your feedback and how was the entire session as we are towards ending the session. So I hope the session was useful to you, and how likely would you like to recommend these sessions to your friends? And we do hope that we try to cover a lot of queries and doubts regarding NEET preparation and what all you can expect this year and what could be there, and all your confusions and clarities that you wanted regarding the timings, regarding the paper, regarding the time management. Sir did try and answer all your queries, and we'll definitely take up last one or two questions before we wrap up the sessions. But please fill up the session feedback poll, as this will help us to know what all we can improve for our next webinar sessions as well. And after this, we'll take last one or two questions from all of you. If it's anything is left, you can immediately shoot your questions in the Q&A session. And with that, we'll wrap up today's session. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, yes, Madhvi, Girdhar, we have seen your questions. I'll take up after this poll. Please don't worry. I'll take up your questions. Madhvi, we have already taken up your question. I think we can move to last few questions. So how can I choose colleges? Okay, Lomesh wants to know, sir, 50% fees in private medical college seats at par with government medical college. So what's the impact on merit?
See, if we see the medical college fees that are actually very high as compared to the government college, and that is the reason that in India the private medical colleges are very expensive and far away from the normal people. So, but I think one must have to try for the NEET, because there is a very big difference in the uh, government college fees and private college fees.
Yeah, I think that answers your question, right? And we'll quickly come to some more questions that I'm seeing here. Samya, okay. So Samya says we have to fill in 4 different areas where the exam would be held. So is there a possibility that we would have to travel so as to give the test, or can we choose it to give in our own state instead?
It is always preferred to give the exam in your own state. So just fill the center which is actually nearest to your home.
I hope, Samya, that answers for you. Okay. Another questions are coming. Some of private colleges does not follow the rules for government fees. Has to collect if goes on mop-up seat. Mr. Ellen, can you please clear your question a bit for us? And then you can quickly put up here. Okay, Madhvi, we have already answered about your category thing. We have to put general as the category for OBC layer. Is there a separate application while applying for state counseling? So if you would like to help on that.
No. There is no at the time of form filling, there is no such criteria. All these things will be taken care after the result.
Right. I think we are like towards the end of the session, and I think we have almost answered all the queries that was here. And I hope the session was useful to all of you. So one final advice before we wrap up the session to all the students.
So students, try to focus the NCERT textbook. Make sure you have prepare your notes. Don't try to learn new thing in the last moment. Try to wind up the chapters based on the NCERT syllabus. Don't go in a much more detail in any topic in the last 4 months. Try to remember the most important formula, bullet points in your biology. Make sure that you have prepared your notes, and try to give 70% time to your notes and 30% time to your textbook. Give mock test every week. Analyze your marks. Try to find the missing link. Try to find the area where you do maximum error. And next day, try to minimize that particular error. And like this, you prepare. All the best.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for all the valuable piece of information and for all your time. And I hope that was a useful session for all of them. And all the best to all of you. And even if you have any queries left, you can always come up to our shiksha.com. You can put up your queries. We'll try and get you connected with our experts and panelists. And if you have somehow missed out this entire video session is available on our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe our channel and watch the video at the comfort of your time. Thank you, sir. And thank you all of you.
Thank you.